So this is my review of Raw, and for me this was the first Raw where I was not really bored for like an extended period of time, because Raw has not been bad since WrestleMania, but especially like if it's a 2 hour show, 2.5 hour show, at least like 15 minutes, 20 minutes will be like boring. But I didn't feel that with this show. Like everything made sense. I don't think anything on this show was like nonsensical. Everything made sense to me, and I liked almost everything. So, starting with the main thing uh, to which the show revolved around was Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So, what happened was at the starting of the show, CM Punk came out. Yeah, he talked about how he wanted to win the Money in the Bank, and if he decides to go after Cena, so he's gonna like end whatever like bones he has left, because uh, he sold his soul to a bald fraud. He again mentioned that. Like this has been like two shows where WWE has finally mentioned, or people working in the WWE have mentioned The Rock. And please do not get your hopes up, because The Rock is not coming back, because he has signed so many projects, because he wants to prove that he can act as a character actor. So he has signed so many projects that realistically he just doesn't have any time to come, and I'm glad he doesn't, because he comes there and he goes away and he ruins stuff. Then you had Sami Zayn coming out. There were like splatters of R-Truth chants. Like there were like R-Truth chants happening, but then they will die down and it will not impact the rest of the show. Like we had R-Truth chants here where Sami Zayn just entered the ring and they both were quiet. And there were R-Truth chants. We got R-Truth chants in the Stephanie Walker, Ivy Nile, and Liv Morgan triple threat as well. We got it in the Judgment Day versus War Raiders match. Even the main event had some of them too. But one thing is that uh, they were not like, they didn't damage the show. They were happening in like certain periods of the matches, but then they would die down too, and it would not hurt the segments, which I liked. Which I don't think their intention was that, because they probably didn't get like, maybe if it was a 9,000 people arena, they probably got like 5-6,000 to chant and not the others. So maybe that's why they eventually died down, and also the matches got good also. So they had no option to let it die out. Sami Zayn came out and he was like, you know, uh, that I also wanted to be in the Money in the Bank, but I couldn't, because Seth Rollins cost me, Braun Breaker cost me, and he essentially talked to Punk about having a game plan that they need to take out Seth and others, because what their vision of WWE is dark, and he doesn't want that. And then he also warned CM Punk that if you become the world champion, I'll be coming for that title. And that's how the segment happened, and they both are on the same page regarding this. And they kind of, if you see, then you had the Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Jey Uso and Sami Zayn tag match. Sami Zayn was dancing like crazy, like he was really grooving on that Jey Uso music. He had the Sammy glasses on too, and I like this match. The only thing was that it ended in disqualification, and that has kind of been the pattern uh, in this feud. In a way, it makes sense. It does make sense that these matches ends in disqualification. It does keep people safe, but it kind of like saddens you a bit. It's like the match is going so good and another DQ finish. Though I like that Seth stomped Jey Uso, so Jey Uso won the match, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to like keep everyone strong in this. So it's like Seth could have easily attacked Sami too, but they had him attack Jay, so that Jay can be the winner there. So they attacked Jay, and then Bronson was going for the tsunami from the top to a Sammy. I think it was Jay I think it was Sammy on the table. To Sammy on the table outside. But then Punk came from the back and he attacked him with a chair. He attacked Bronson on. I think he threw the chair on Bronson, but it straight away landed right in his hands, and then they chased out Seth Rollins from the ring, and then they had like Sammy J and Punk standing on like the 11th year anniversary of the Shield. Like Sammy could have turned there also, and they have teased that a lot also. But I'm glad they didn't do it because we don't really want Sammy as a heel now. I think he's past that, and also that I don't think it's really interesting to have Sammy go heel and be part of Seth's group. I think we need more fresh things there. And I'm glad that Punk is getting these baby face spots. Like people who are like kind of like angry that, oh, so Seth attacks but CM Punk comes out and saves. Like this is typical wrestling. Like this is what used to happen when they were like uber mega baby faces. Like these were the spots that they used to get like almost every week. And CM Punk is getting that nuclear face reaction, and he's finally getting to be the baby face that he was supposed to be years ago. And he's getting that spotlight on him also, which is great to see. And then you had, certain things going around. You had Karen Cross, who got a great pop, and he essentially told Sammy that, like you could have been world champion. And Sammy was like, why are you on my ass? And he was like, because I know that you're evil. I know that. And Sammy was like, no. And Karen was like, yeah, we'll see. And that's how they did that. It's just that they need to have a match soon. It's just that I don't know how they have a match because Sammy is so involved in this feud that how do you get Sammy to fight Karrion? Like Karrion has to like interfere or something, but then there are no matches going on with Sammy being in it. Like there is no match at Money in the Bank. So I don't know how they do it, but I think they have to because if there is someone, the thing is that people who are like kind of like mad that how did Gable get two matches? First of all, Gable and Americano are not the same person, and second of all, are you really opposing Gable getting two matches while you were the same guys who were crying about how it should have been Gable instead of Sammy, and how like Gable has been wasted, he's being a jobber, and he's finally getting something. Now you can say that, oh, I wanted like Gable to be not a guy in a mask, but still, like it feels like, then mention that. It feels like you have just latched onto a new toy and forgetting about the old one. And what I feel is what they should do with Carrion is what they did with LA. Even though LA's situation was different, like Triple H wanted to push Damien so he didn't have LA win the Money in the Bank and then put him into other feuds, because other than the Money in the Bank, everything was kind of like booked, so he had to put him into other feuds. Like Karen has three possible feuds. He can go into a feud with Logan Paul, he can go into a feud with AJ Styles, and he can go into a feud with Sami Zayn. And I think they need to put Karrion into a feud with, starting with Sami Zayn. I don't know how they do it, maybe AJ Styles, but they have to do it so that they will like, we are giving you a chance against a proven star that we have, a proven baby face who is great in the ring, who has, I don't know, years of experience. Let's see how you go. And LA Knight proved that to WWE again. His feud with AJ Styles, his character work there, them having their goofy style brawls and everything, and that match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, which was not like a great 5-star classic, but it was good. Like it killed the agenda that LA can't wrestle in the ring. So I think they need to do that because Karen Cross is not a good wrestler in the ring. He's not even serviceable unless you have like Johnny Gargano in front of him. So they need to do stuff, and I think that is the way. That is how you give a chance to Karen Cross, and if he has a good match with them, he will eventually get spots on the card. So that's how you do it. So they're really building up that Sammy is gonna turn in, but of course he isn't going to. Then you had, the triple threat main event, which was Americano versus uh, AJ Styles versus CM Punk, which was a good match. I'll probably say that Americano was the best part of the match because CM Punk and AJ Styles were kind of like a little bit, iffy in the ring. Like their spots were not hitting that much, but even then, a really good match that they had. And also that you had Paul Heyman coming to AJ Styles, like essentially uh, telling him that you're too old, AJ. Like go after the IC title, go after Dom. Like why are you going against people like Seth who have Bronson and Braun with his side, and he was going to offer him a handshake. AJ refused, and first of all, it's really funny because they have real life beef. Like AJ has real life beef with Paul Heyman because of the fact that back in 2021, like he kind of like got them fired. And also, I like this because that means that AJ is a babyface who is now entrenched in the main event scene. Of course, he is a sidekick there, but at least he's entrenched in the main event scene. What AJ Styles has been for the past few years is that he's just there and he has feuds with people, but he isn't really like a major player. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens, you can say he's a sidekick and everything as a babyface, but at least him being in those main event feuds, like him being at Cody's side, showed that yeah, you are a valued player. We trust that you can be in this main event stable feud, and I'm glad that AJ is in the crosshairs of this. So what happened was then AJ refused and he was like, I'll take care of Dom also, but first I'll take care of Seth Rollins. He was like that until you get punched in the face or something like that. The thing that Mike Tyson said. Well, then you had the match, which I think was good. Like AJ Styles dive outside when Braun and everyone interfered, where CM Punk was just about to win, just about to pin Americano, but then it didn't happen. AJ got distracted. Americano hit him with the metal plate in the mask, and he won, which is kind of baffling if you see that a gimmick which started as like a lower mid card like person pretending to be Mexican, kind of like bordering on the Trump style gimmicky thing, has defeated AJ Styles and CM Punk. Though it does make sense because the way that they have protected Americano, like having him beat Phoenix, having him be the reason that Penta didn't win the title. I don't think he has lost any match till now. So I didn't think he was going to be one of those guys that, oh, he's the third person in the match. He's supposed to get pinned. No, but he pinned AJ Styles. So thing is, you have stuff to go there. Like El Grande Americano has has a feud with Penta. He also has a feud with AJ also, but I think that kind of ends here because uh, he just beat him. It's not like because of El Grande Americano like AJ got distracted. He got distracted because of the Seth Rollins faction. And Seth Rollins' fits have been kind of fire after him turning heel. Like after like the way he flew to like attack Punk was really funny. Like the hate is so much that never flew to fight him. And in the end, they laid everyone out. He just curb stomped everyone's ass, and then Braun Breaker hit a spear. After that, he curb stomped, and then Bronson with two tsunamis to Jey Uso. And there was also a trajectory going around the night, essentially like telling us the story of like Jey Uso being involved in a lot of things. Like Jey Uso being involved with Sami Zayn in that tag match, got his ass beat, and Gunther came back. They had a very good video package for Gunther versus Jey Uso, and then Gunther came in the locker room and essentially was like a dad to his to Jay. He was kind of like that, that manipulative dad who is kind of giving you advice, but at the same time he's putting you down. So it's like, are you even giving me advice? And he was essentially that, you, since you have become world champion, like you have been that friend in need which is helping everyone. Be it you have a match against with Cody against Cena and Logan at Saturday nights at Money in the Bank, just two nights before your world championship defense. You are involved with Sami Zayn and CM Punk being their friend. What did you get? Like, you are the friend who always helps people, and in the end, you get your ass beat. You're not 100%. So, I always knew since WrestleMania that I will take my revenge, but you are making it easy for me. So, because you're not a world champion, because you're thinking from your heart, not your mind, you're too emotional, which is kind of true. And I have really liked the way that they have booked Jay as a world champion, like truly underdog from the underground, white meat babyface. That is Jay Uso. Like, they have booked him perfectly, like taking it into the fact that they could not have booked him like a Cody like champion, like just going from one feud to the other, them knowing that he's not really that good of a wrestler in ring, so putting him in tag matches because of a feud with the stable. Then his singles matches also having shenanigans, so smoke and mirrors, kind of like avoiding having super long matches where he gets exposed, him being involved in like multiple storylines, so that world title seems like the most important thing on the show, him going up against the main heel stable, which is the Seth Rollins stable, and then him having the main babyface, which is CM Punk and Sami Zayn by his side. I have really liked this, and that's what happened, because then Jay gets up, he stops Gunther, and he was like, three words, and I was like, is he going to say yeet? I was like, come on, man. I was literally like, because I didn't hear him saying three words, and then he said tap, and he was like, next week I'm gonna make you tap out, like the way I made you tap out at WrestleMania, because people also started chanting you tapped out, which I think is good. Like, people care about Gunther, like he did tap out, and that's what we're getting next week, Gunther versus Jey Uso. I'm really liking this. Like this, like if there's a casual watching, there even like a good wrestling fan, they will be like sympathizing with Jay. Like, he's the guy who is going on with his friends, getting his ass beat every week, like getting people are getting involved in his business while he has done nothing to them. Like, see, he has done nothing to John Cena, and Cena still got involved, almost made him lose his title, but then Cody came back, and him really going through the trials and tribulations of being an underdog champion who is still disrespected even after him having Gunther tap out. The only thing is that when Gunther says this stuff that you're not worthy to be a world champion, I kind of find it hard to believe him, because his world title reign was not really booked well by WWE. Like, he defended his title at Saturday Night's main event, and then he defended it directly at WrestleMania. Like, he went like 2 months without defending it, and even before that, his feuds were like not really that much apart from his feud with Randy Orton. So I'm like, and Sami Zayn. So I was like, you're not believable to me, Gunther. Even though they have not booked him perfectly since WrestleMania, but they've not booked him that bad. Then, talking about the rest of the show, as I've talked about this, what I think is probably going to happen is that CM Punk is not going to make it to Night of Champions because he's not going to Saudi. So probably what happens at Money in the Bank, looking at the people in the match, like the only two options that can win the match is either Seth Rollins or LA Knight. And LA Knight has a chance is because CM Punk is gonna interfere there. Then probably Braun and Bronson are going to be there. Probably Sammy will come, AJ too, I guess. I think Americano is not going to win because Penta is probably going to try to take his, like someone said, he's going to try to take his mask out on Twitter. Someone said that, and then he's going to run away. And probably if Ray is healthy, I can see Ray Mysterio come back too. But then what I think is gonna happen is that probably Punk interferes, that's not enough. Sammy interferes, that's not enough. And then when Seth is at like the top of the ladder, and then we probably get Roman Reigns come back. Then Roman Reigns screws Seth Rollins out of the Money in the Bank, and then you have LA Knight win the Money in the Bank. And also, LA Knight winning the Money in the Bank probably means he's going to go into a feud with Aleister Black. And if he loses that feud, no one really cares because he's the Money in the Bank. And it will make sense. It's just that Triple H doesn't really like the concept of Money in the Bank, and he would want the Money in the Bank, like cash in and everything stuff, to be like finished like real quick. So he can probably have Seth Rollins win. You can probably have Ricky Stark's debut, and he ensures that Seth wins. And then at Raw, he can explain that I brought up Ricky Starks from NXT. I stopped him from going after Ethan Page because I saw that he's talented and everything. But in reality, the reason that he got him was because he was CM Punk's close friend and kind of his disciple. So, putting a mentor against a mentee and everything, you can do that stuff also. So, and he would probably want, then maybe Seth tries to tease in a cash in at the tag match, and then finally at the Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins cashes in the Jay versus Gunther match, and then Seth wins by curb stomping Jay. So I can see that, but that's mainly because of Triple H's thought about Money in the Bank. But it kind of makes things kind of predictable but interesting also, because you only have two believable winners for the Money in the Bank, which is either LA or Seth. And LA also, because it's not like they've indicated that LA is gonna win, but because it's his third year going into the Money in the Bank, and they'll be like, he has to win this time for sure at least. So let's see what happens there. Now, for the rest of the show, we had a Rusev promo which I really liked, which was essentially League of Nations lore, which was Rusev saying that you came out and you were disappointed in me while you didn't save me. I tried to save these weak people from falling into the abyss. When I fell into the abyss, you were by my side, but you betrayed me. You didn't save me. And your body is shaped like granite, but you have neck of sand, which is true because Sheamus has had neck issues, and also because Rusev has had neck issues. Like, his neck was the reason he lost the TNT title to Sammy Guevara, and him saying that, like, I have the most devastating move to like put you out. Like, I really like Rusev is because that he'll be like that kind of killer who is like, he his philosophy is kind of bad, but it kind of makes sense. Like, even in death, he's kind of like giving you honor, but that's words. In the ring, he's like the most brutal guy, and that's what we saw. He said that it will be my honor to take you out, to send you back to home as a hero, which essentially means I'm going to send you back in a casket, because that is what he's alluding to. And him saying that, I'll see you this time, like, stay out of my way. And then it directly cut to Sheamus, like, talking to Maxine, Natalia, and Akira Tozawa. And it's like, only way it makes sense Natalia to be there is if you have seen their YouTube clips. Otherwise, Natalia is just randomly showing up to help Maxine without like any like storyline explanation, like why do she was. And Sheamus was essentially like encouraging Tozawa, and then he said that I bully bullies, and I'll see you. And I'm glad, like, this feud actually seems like the perfect thing for Rusev. And also that Sheamus probably doesn't lose anything if he loses to Rusev, or also that if this is a long feud, Rusev also doesn't lose anything if he loses like one match to Sheamus, because he has storyline reasons. He can say that either he was distracted or his neck issues came back. He can make it make sense. So I like this for Rusev. It's just that they need to like speed up, because they'll have like a week in between where Rusev will not be there on the show, and then next week he'll be facing Tozawa. So I do think they need to like fasten up this feud a little bit, and then I like if they have three matches in the end, Rusev winning. And apart from that, you had the debut of Stephanie Walker, like you can say the main roster call up, because she already had a debut. It was Steph versus Ivy versus Liv. Uh, you had a video package before the entrance of Stephanie, which I don't think that many people get. Like, where essentially there were highlights of her in NXT, her saying that she's the first South American champion, like showing how she won both the titles on one night, and her essentially saying that she's La Primera and she's here to dominate. And then she comes out with like extra pyro, with like extra fire, and then they had a pretty good match. Like, I really liked this match. In the end, I thought that there would be interference. There wasn't. Stephanie won with the, what is the finish for, CVD COD, I don't know, with giving it to Ivy Nile and winning the match. I thought that they would further the story of Rocks coming, trying to save her, but then getting involved with Raquel. But that's why then Stephanie loses, but they don't do that. That's why Liv loses, but they didn't do that. What they did was also good, which essentially was that Liv telling Finn that because Rox comes out in Finn's match, she didn't come out there, and it was like she doesn't trust him. And Finn was like, by time you will. And you can see the tension between Finn and Dom. Like, you can see like Finn is on the point of breaking. Like, they had that, and Dom was wearing a Carlito shirt, and also it is canon now. Like, because Carlito is gone, the PS5 is also gone with him, and the clubhouse is just silent. Like, that kind of made me emotional at a little bit. And then you that the the Judgment Day versus War Raiders match was not bad too. Rocks came out, Judgment Day won, and I do think probably that's what's gonna lead to Judgment Day versus New Day, probably, with, I think, New Day winning, because probably Raquel and Liv will try to save them, but New Day will win. It's just that they need to do something with the Raw Tag Team division, and they can. They just need to shift teams around. Like, send some teams to Raw. Like, I probably say send Motor City Machine Guns and Pretty Deadly to Raw, and maybe send American Made and Viking Raiders to SmackDown. Though it will be like, because Pretty Deadly is over. I think they will do much better as characters on Raw, and Motor City Machine Guns, they will finally have the chance to be like a top babyface tag team, because on SmackDown you already have Fraxium there, and you cannot be that tag team while they are still there. So I'll probably have these trades also, like, spice things up, and also use Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Like, they are now baby faces, like they can be a good tag team too. You just had them return and have them lose to the New Day and do nothing since then. Like, they can get over too, and I assure you they can. Just give them a chance. And you had Stephanie winning, like, she's getting a big push. She and Gable both are are doing double duty on the Money in the Bank, because first they're having a match at Worlds Collide, and then straight away like having a ladder match in the Money in the Bank. Like, Stephanie is much more protected because she's going to be in a tag match, but Gable is having a match for the AAA Mega Championship against El Hijo del Vikingo. So that's going to be stiff. And then when he goes to Money in the Bank, he's going to be in a ladder match. So that's going to be stiff too. I just hope that they both remain healthy after that. Also, I really like Bronson Reed's and Braun Strowman's Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker's presentation. Of course, their later parts of the music do not mix well, and also Bronson looks really like healthy now. His like legs have toned out a bit. Also, Braun Breaker is Braun Breaker, and they look really well together. I maybe this is the kind of thing that the Raw Tag Team division needs. Like, it would be so crazy if they have Braun Breaker and Bronson win the tag titles, and then if the Lucha Bros reunite, have the Lucha Bros beat Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at WrestleMania for the World Tag Team titles. Like that would be awesome. Like book that Triple H. And then you had the whole like Roxanne wanted to help Liv, but she refused. So then Liv went to the ring, and Liv had her. Then Raquel had her match with Kairi Sane, which Kairi won because Liv tried to interfere. EO immediately came out to a huge pop, helped Kyrie win the match with the insane elbow. Like that elbow hit Raquel with full force. With full force, and I'm liking that Kyrie is getting these wins. Like she was not supposed to lose that match against Rhea because unfortunate that Zoe got injured. Like probably Zoe was supposed to take the pin from Rhea Ripley. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, you had Stephanie giving her backstage interview in Spanish. Then Rhea interrupted and she shook hands with her. And it was like they are giving that mega push, like immediately having her interact with Rhea. This is probably like a dream match in the future, like maybe in WrestleMania. Maybe have Stephanie take the title of Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Maybe, let's see. I do think what is happening with Io, Liv, Raquel, and Kyrie is probably we are gonna get a tag team title defense because Kyrie can say that she beat both Liv and Raquel, so she deserves a tag team title shot. And then what's probably gonna happen is Liv is going to pin Io in that match. Then Liv is going to demand a world title match against Io, and Io is probably gonna, you know, win the. Probably gonna have a match with Liv, and that will be the way she will first defend her title in her first defense. I can see that match happening at Night of Champions because we're probably gonna have the women's tag team titles being defended at Evolution. So probably Liv and Raquel will have some opponents there. So it will. So probably that one women's champion happening at Night of Champions will be Liv and Raquel. Will be Liv versus Io. I can see that happening there, and it's good. Like having EO face Liv as a first defense. I just hope we get some defenses before eventually EO is going to lose her title to Rhea at SummerSlam probably, or maybe Evolution too. So moving forward from that, you had the Becky and Lyra segment, which I liked. You can say some lines did not hit, or maybe some lines were not delivered well, but both had confidence, both had the aura, and both had like this feels like a feud for a title, and it was with essentially because Becky had a promo which had like one great line that you're gonna hold my hand declaring me as champion while I'm holding down yours, referring to her holding her hand up when Lyra beat her for the NXT title. And I like this video package because they showed footage from Lyra beating Becky Lynch in NXT for the Women's Championship. So Lyra was essentially like she's pissed and all. Like I liked one thing that they were giving what chance, but Lyra just pushed through, and eventually they started caring about this segment when Lyra started insulting Becky, and Lyra was not having anything of Becky because Becky was leaning and all into the ropes and essentially like refusing everything, and then Lyra was just attacked her. They gave her like good kicks and they were like broken up. I would have liked this brawl to go on a little bit longer, maybe get Lyra to hit more, but then that's what happened, and I do think that probably means that uh, Lyra is going to lose her title, and maybe Lyra loses, then you have Bailey return. Maybe that's how we either set up a singles match or set up a triple threat match at Evolution. and I think Becky probably wins there, and then you set up Becky versus Bailey for the Intercontinental Championship for SummerSlam. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think what's probably gonna happen is uh, Becky defeats Lyra, Bailey returns, Becky retains her title at Evolution, probably takes out Lyra, and then SummerSlam Lyra returns, costs Becky the title, and Bailey wins. And then you kind of have uh, a Lyra versus Becky like one more match program for like a month or something, like keep her busy in that, while meanwhile Bailey can defend her title maybe against someone like Kyrie Sane who they have been building, like something like that. You can do that maybe, but I think maybe they're gonna have Becky be the champion for a while. I think they want to give Bailey a special moment, like maybe at WrestleMania next year. Maybe they have Bailey finally take the title of Becky. They do something like that. I I can see that, especially after all the backlash that they have gotten. And like Triple H does love Bailey, even though she's too selfless. And going forward, I think I've talked about everything that happened on this show. I don't think anything else happened. I think I have covered everything. Maybe some things. What have I not covered? Like the New Day think that they want Grayson Waller to be at their side. I don't know what they're doing with this. They're probably gonna have New Day and A Town Down feud also, but this happened in the commercial. But they put it on YouTube, so I don't know if this happened on commercial. So let's see. Probably they are pulling the trigger on that Austin Theory face turn. Finally, let's see what happens there because they wanted him to leave Austin Theory and join them to be their essentially third member lackey. So I don't know what will happen there. Let's see what happens. I think I have covered everything that happened on the show. If I have missed anything, I'm sorry, but I can only think of this stuff. And for me, the show was really good. Probably a 3.5, 3.75, maybe a 4 also. What did you think about this show? Tell me in the comments. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Twitter/X account and my Instagram account, links are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is sharpboy@okicici, is in the description also, so go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.